I am about to show you a very cool strategy that uses two indicators and price action to make you money, and the best part is it's absolutely free. Make sure you watch the entire video so you see exactly where I get these indicators from, and most importantly, exactly how I use price action to enter trades and to determine probability. Thank you very much for clicking on the video. My name is Trades by Mo. So we're now going to add both of these indicators to our chart. So click on indicators at the top, type in Flux Charts, and we will be adding the VWAP divergence indicator and the Bollinger Bands indicator. Both of these indicators are by Flux Charts, but both of these indicators are absolutely free and they are very, very powerful, and shortly I will show you why. So this is what the VWAP divergence indicator looks like, and I have left the indicator settings default, so your settings should look exactly like this. Now we're on a 1 hour time frame, so you can't see the divergence dots, but we'll be focusing on the VWAP for taking entries. For the Bollinger Bands, I've changed a few of the settings, but generally left most of the numbers alone. But you can see here I've turned off plot lines and removed level 1 bands. Okay, your chart should now look something like this. So you can see the green and the red clouds are the Bollinger Band areas. This is where the actual Bollinger Band lines begin, but we won't be using this, and I'll show you why in a minute. And the little red and green triangles are called kernels, and we will be using them for step 1 for the first confirmation for our trade entries. But now that your chart looks like mine, let's move on to step 2, which is how to set up and take trades. Okay, so step 1 for this strategy is for price to first move inside either the red or green cloud for the Bollinger Bands. And then a few candles later we want to see the kernel paint, and this is why the kernels are our first confirmation but not actually our entry point, because the kernels only paint after a few candles have already passed. Now that price has gone into and rejected out of the Bollinger Bands, it has created an initial high, and the kernel function has confirmed that. Now step 2 is for price to come back below and close below the VWAP line. This is the green and red line right here. The next step for this indicator is for price to make a secondary high. Now price does not need to come to the exact point of the first initial high, but the closer that we can get it to be in a double top formation, the more likely it is for our trade to play out. And the final step for this strategy is for price to finally come back below the VWAP line, essentially making a massive M or W, or double top or double bottom formation. And our entry confirmation for this trade is a rejection candle formation. This is either the railroad tracks formation or the morning star or the evening star formation. As you can see, this yellow and white candle right here represents a railroad track rejection, and on the close of the white candle we can enter our first trade. Now this can vary depending on how high you want your win rate to be versus how high you want your risk to reward to be. I recommend that if the entry candle is big, that you can put your stop loss above that entry candle, but if the candle is quite small, then I recommend putting it above the recent swing high. But because it is a larger candle, I'm going to put it here, just above the wick of the entry candle. And now for this strategy, we'll be using a risk to reward ratio of 2, so let's see how the trade gets on. And there we go, but we've had our first trade for 2 risk to reward ratio, giving us a 2% profit on the account. I want to show you a few more trading setups. Okay, and here is our first example of a buy for this strategy. So remember, step 1 is to wait for price to come down into the Bollinger Band cloud and come back outside, while a few candles later painting the kernel function. And right there, the first low is confirmed with the crossing of the VWAP line. So now we need to wait for a pullback to this low and then some sort of rejection formation to give us the confirmation to enter this trade. And right here on this trade, we now have the double bottom or W formation with the first initial low and then a second retest of that low with a railroad track formation closing back above the green VWAP line. And there we can very clearly see that the VWAP line is now green and we can now enter our trade. Okay, and that buy trade is now hit. We had a very close stop loss right at the beginning and price almost hit the stop loss level. but depending on your broker will fully determine how large your spreads actually are. Now right here on this trade we can see we had a huge spike down into the Bollinger Band's green cloud with a massive wick, so it's safe to assume that this was a news candle, and then price has slowly pulled back above the VWAP line, confirming our first low. And then we have the second push to the downside with a final close back above the VWAP line, creating a morning star formation, so it is now safe to enter our trade. One thing I will note is I wouldn't actually mark this wick down here as the first initial low, because this isn't a true reflection of price, as this was a news candle. And remember, because this is a large candle, we'll only be putting our stop loss just behind it, and remember we're always targeting a 2 risk to reward ratio. And there we go, that trade has hit our take profit for a 2% on the account. And these are the results for this free Flux Charts strategy. And you can see we made 126% on the account over 100 trades with a 61% win rate. 5 consecutive wins over 3 consecutive losses is very, very good to see. And with a profit factor of 3.13, it is very safe to say that this beginner trading strategy is very, very profitable. But these indicators were created by Flux Charts, and they wanted to sponsor today's video to show you how powerful their premium indicators actually are. I have previously tested them on this channel and had insane results, and for only the price of one takeaway a month, you could gain access to life-changing indicators and an amazing community of other like-minded traders, all the way from beginner to expert, that are making money the same way you want to. So check them out risk-free with the first link down in the description and in the comments section, and seeing exactly how much value they cram into this tiny membership fee. But thank you very much everybody for watching today's video, but I have a very exciting video coming up in 2 days, so make sure you click the notification bell to see that one. And thank you finally to Flux Charts for sponsoring this video.